A healthy dose of skepticism is kind of required nowadays. Anyone can kind of just make up anything, and people tend to jump to conclusions way too fast when it comes to seeing a brand new thing that could point to the thing that they want. I've especially noticed this with leaks, especially fake leaks, where someone says something on the internet and people immediately believe it because it's the thing that they want. But to get to what I want to talk about, there are some new things surrounding Persona 1 and 2 that are potential hopeful signs and are worth scrutinizing. Persona 1 and 2 are the alleged black sheep of Persona games, mainly in the fact that they are fairly different from their newer relatives, Persona 3, 4, and 5, to the point where the games rarely get more than a couple nods here and there concerning their existence. Despite that, ATLUS still continuously acknowledges that they exist in some capacity during major Persona anniversaries, and every once in a while during interviews. But there hasn't been an official way to play Persona 1 or 2 in over a decade. All the chances of playing the game are pretty much via old consoles or emulation, and if you plan on obtaining an actual physical copy of the game, good luck with that. But there seems to be a potential shift happening, and maybe not in the most obvious fashion, that could spell a new chance for the old games to shine once again. So this rumor, or theory, or whatever, started with a little merch drop ATLUS did at the beginning of April. Since it is Persona's 30th anniversary, merch is the least surprising thing to come of it. Anyways, this merch is not for Persona 3 or 4 or 5, but instead for Persona 1 and 2. And you might say, well, that doesn't really prove anything. Then again, this is not confirmed. So obviously, yes, you'd be right. There is no guaranteed evidence that any of this speculation is going to be true. But the reason people are looking at this is because of how ATLUS is referencing Persona 1 and 2. A little jump back in history, real quick. Persona 1 released in 1996. The game was titled Revelations Persona. In 2009, it got a port to the PSP, and was released dropping the word Revelations and calling the game Shin Megami Tensei Persona. Why is this important? We'll get to that momentarily. Persona 2 has two games. If you haven't heard anyone talk about this, Persona 2 Innocent Sin and Persona 2 Eternal Punishment are a duology. So now we have the official names for Persona 1 and 2.
Someone!
And the reason why this matters is the recent merch drop refers to Persona 1 and 2 in a different, never used before as far as my knowledge goes, terminology for the games. The official merch drop had the titles of Persona 1 Origins and Persona 2 Duality. These titles have never been used before, again, to my understanding, in order to reference the games. And this has since been fixed. The merch page on Amazon now properly references Persona Revelations and Persona 2 Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. But it is certainly interesting that for some reason the merch originally referenced titles of the game that haven't been used before.
It's not like you're any better. All you're good at is English.
And I think the most this could mean is remasters of Persona 1 and 2. I actually do not think this entails a potential remake of any of those games, although altering the title could be grounds to point towards a remake as well. But my reasoning for that is pretty simple and corporate. Persona 1 and 2 have been out of the spotlight for almost 2 decades. More like 15 years, but we're close enough at this point. People's interest in Persona as an IP comes directly from Persona 3, 4, and 5, the Hashino trilogy. These games have a very similar gameplay loop, and most of the current fanbase likely comes from playing Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal. While it is quite easy to please modern Persona fans with remakes of the older PS2 titles, Persona 1 and 2 fans are much more concerned that the games they like could undergo massive changes in a remake scenario, almost as if ATLUS would remake the game under a modern Persona formula. And honestly, they most likely be right, in some sense. Persona 3 Reload has been stated to have been made for Persona 5 fans in at least 1 or 2 interviews, while maintaining the aspects of the original that made it Persona 3, which is mostly its narrative and characters. Persona 4 Revival will follow that same formula. I don't believe I need evidence to prove why that is probably the case. Persona 1 and 2 getting remakes would put them in a tricky scenario, because the Persona name sells, but when people see Persona on a brand new title, they see a vastly different experience. To the average person, looking at Persona 1 and 2, while being a fan of Persona 5, is just confusing, because it's not really the same game. Remakes would also be a lot more expensive. It is more likely that the games receive a lower budget remaster, which is less committal and costs, less money. This way, Atlus can appeal to the core fan base that would buy 1 and 2 again, without having to spend too much money on a project that would likely not attract the modern Persona crowd. But to me, that's the best case scenario. I don't actually believe that we are getting remakes for Persona 1 and 2. Again, I could be wrong, they could be happening, but I think a remaster is just more likely. And of course, we should still embrace the possibility that this means nothing. It is not impossible for this merch drop to just be a merch drop, and for Atlus to start referring to Persona 1 and Persona 2 in a different way than they used to. As of recording this video, nothing has been officially stated and nothing has been officially revealed. It is disappointing to many that it's probably disappointing to a lot of people that this could be the case, but Atlus tends to move slowly towards ideas rather than rush into them. I would not be surprised if Persona 1 and 2 remain almost non-existent. It's just difficult to find the right way to release these games, again with how much Persona has changed in the past decade. The modern Persona games have grown immensely with almost no attention being paid to the original 3 titles. And that does make it difficult to re-release the older games, since they just don't have the same identity.
Get ready!
Ready how? Never mind. Guess I just gotta wing it.
So as usual, prepare yourself for the worst case scenario. Whether that worst case scenario to you is complete reimaginings of Persona 1 and 2, remasters and not a remake, or that this is just a nothing burger. Except that whichever the worst case scenario is to you is probably the one that is going to happen. That way when it does happen, you will not be disappointed. Well, you probably will be disappointed, but it'll be less of a shock. We know nothing until official confirmation. This is just a potential glimmer of hope for anyone who is hoping that they can play Persona 1 and 2 on modern platforms. And you can let me know what you think of this merch drop and whether it means anything in the comments down below. You can leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel for more things Persona, ATLUS, and JRPG related. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.